Dead Cells is a roguelite, Metroidvania-inspired action platformer. The game has tough but fair combat, with more than 150 weapons and spells with unique gameplay. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is an action-adventure game where you play as Lara that must traverse the environment and combat enemies with firearms and stealth as you explore semi-open hubs. In these hubs, you can raid challenge tombs to unlock new rewards, complete side missions, and scavenge for resources which can be used to craft useful materials. Hollow Knight is a classically styled 2D action-adventure game set in a vast, interconnected world. In here, you'll battle tainted creatures, befriend bizarre bugs, and solve ancient mysteries at the kingdom's heart. The game features tightly tuned 2D controls, allowing you to dodge, dash, and slash your way through even the most deadly adversaries. Shadow of the Colossus is an action-adventure game that takes place in a fantasy setting and follows Wander, a young man who enters an isolated and abandoned region of the realm seeking the power to revive a girl named Mono. The gameplay involves combat-based sequences, as well as platforming and puzzle game elements.
Not today.
Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is an action-packed game where you play as an experienced Peter Parker who is fighting big crime and iconic villains in Marvel's New York. You can web-swing through vibrant neighborhoods and defeat villains with epic takedowns. Moonlighter is an action RPG indie game developed by the Spanish indie studio Digital Sun. You play as Will, an adventurous shopkeeper who secretly dreams of becoming a hero. The game demonstrates two sides of the coin, revealing everyday routines of Will and his secret adventures. Detroit: Become Human is an adventure game developed by Quantic Dream. The game revolves around three android protagonists, Kara, Connor, and Marcus, each with distinct narratives. The game employs a third-person perspective and features multiple playable characters whose fates can be influenced by player decisions. The God of War series is a popular action-adventure video game franchise that began in 2005. The series was created by David Jaffe at Sony's Santa Monica studio. It has become a flagship series for PlayStation, consisting of 9 installments across multiple platforms. Each game in the series builds upon the previous ones, expanding the story and introducing new gameplay elements. The series is known for its rich storytelling, immersive gameplay, and high-quality graphics. A Way Out is a cooperative action-adventure video game developed by Hazelight Studios and published by Electronic Arts. The game is an exclusively co-op adventure and does not have a single-player option. It is playable on local or online split-screen co-op between 2 players. Each player controls one of the main characters, Leo and Vincent, in a reluctant alliance to break out of prison and gain their freedom. Moss is a single-player action-adventure puzzle game where the game is presented from a blend of first-person and third-person perspectives, with a primary focus on solving puzzles. In Moss, players meet Quill. While exploring the woods, she finds a mysterious glass relic and an ancient magic is awakened. With her uncle now in grave danger, Quill must embark on an epic journey. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice is an action-adventure game developed by From Software. This game won the Game of the Year award at the Game Awards 2019 and was named the Best Action Game of 2019 by IGN. The game has received overwhelmingly positive reviews. Spyro Reignited Trilogy is a platform video game developed by Toys for Bob and published by Activision. It is a remastered collection of the first 3 games in the Spyro series. The Remastered Trilogy attempts to mostly remain faithful to the gameplay of the original games. Each level is designed to match the size and layout of the levels in the originals. A few features included only in 1 or 2 of the original trilogy were unified across all 3 games in Reignited. Astrobot Rescue Mission is a platform video game developed by Japan Studios team Asobi Division and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was specifically designed for the PlayStation VR. The goal of the game is to rescue Astro's crew scattered around each world. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is an action role-playing video game developed by Ubisoft Quebec and published by Ubisoft. It is the 11th major installment in the Assassin's Creed series and the successor to 2017's Assassin's Creed Origins. Tetris Effect Connected is an enhanced version of the original Tetris Effect game. The game offers a unique and immersive experience of the classic Tetris game, with over 30 different stages, each with its own music, sound effects, graphical style, and background that all evolve and change as you play through them. Red Dead Redemption is an action-adventure game developed and published by Rockstar Games. It's the third entry in the Red Dead series and a prequel to the 2010 game Red Dead Redemption. The game features a fully featured photo mode and additional story mode content. It also includes free access to the shared living world of Red Dead Online, where players take on an array of roles to carve their own unique path on the frontier. Devil May Cry 5 is a 2019 action-adventure game developed and published by Capcom. It is the 6th installment overall and the 5th mainline installment in the Devil May Cry series. The game is set in Red Grave City, which is being taken over by the seeds of a demon tree. The player can use these characters in different missions. The game also features high-octane action and otherworldly original characters. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is an online-only action role-playing video game developed by Massive Entertainment and published by Ubisoft. It's the sequel to Tom Clancy's The Division 2016 and is set in a near-future Washington, D.C., in the aftermath of a genetically engineered virus known as green poison being released. Celeste is a two-dimensional platform game where you control a character named Madeline, who has the ability to run, jump, climb walls for a limited time, jump off walls, and dash in midair in one of 8 directions. Certain objects in the game grant Madeline additional abilities. Apex Legends is a free-to-play hero shooter game where the game legendary competitors battle for glory, fame, and fortune on the fringes of the frontier. The game features a roster of characters, each with their own unique abilities. Resident Evil 2 Remake is a total remake of the classic survival horror game Resident Evil 2, developed and published by Capcom. The game offers a spine-chilling reimagining of the horror classic. Path of Exile is an online action RPG set in the dark fantasy world of Rayclass. It's designed around a strong online item economy, deep character customization, competitive PvP, and ladder races. Final Fantasy XIV is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, MMORPG, developed and published by Square Enix. The game invites you to explore the realm of Eorzea with friends from around the world. You can create your own unique character and join a grand adventure in a vibrant and ever-changing world. Monster Hunter World Iceborne is a massive expansion for the action role-playing game Monster Hunter World. In Iceborne, you'll explore new locales, face new monsters, embark on new quests, and discover new weapon combos. Control is a 2019 action-adventure game developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by 505 Games. The game revolves around the Federal Bureau of Control, FBC, a secret U.S. government agency tasked with containing and studying phenomena that violate the laws of reality. A Plague Tale: Innocence is an action-adventure stealth game developed by Asobo Studio and published by Focus Home Interactive. The game is set in mid-14th century Aquitaine, France during the Hundred Years' War. You follow the story of young Amicia and her little brother Hugo as they face the Inquisition and the Plague. Sayonara Wild Hearts is a dreamy arcade game developed by Swedish developer Simogo and published by Annapurna Interactive. The game is about riding motorcycles, skateboarding, dance battling, shooting lasers, wielding swords, and breaking hearts at 200 mph. The Outer Worlds is an award-winning single-player first-person sci-fi RPG developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Private Division. The game features optional side missions and the main story quests. Each quest can be completed in a number of different ways. The game also offers a detailed character customization, companionship system, and a reputation system which affects the player's relationship with various factions. Kentucky Route Zero is a point-and-click adventure interactive fiction game developed by Cardboard Computer and published by Annapurna Interactive. The game has been described as a magical realist adventure game about a secret highway running through the caves beneath Kentucky and the mysterious folks who travel it. There are no traditional puzzles or challenges, with the focus of the game being storytelling and atmosphere. Dreams is a game creation system developed by Media Molecule and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Dreams allows players to create their own custom dreams. These can be shared online via dream surfing or in co-op play. Friends can even create new dreams together. The game isn't just about drawing or sculpting, but also game creation, storytelling, animation, music, and sound. Doom Eternal is a first-person shooter game developed by ID Software and published by Bethesda Softworks. Players have access to various firearms such as the combat shotgun, super shotgun, heavy cannon, rocket launcher, plasma rifle, chain gun, BFG 9000, ballista, and the Unmaker. Melee weapons such as a chainsaw, the Crucible Blade Energy Sword, the Sentinel Argent Hammer, Hellbreaker, and a retractable arm blade called the Doom Blade can also be used. Nioh 2 is an action role-playing video game developed by Team Ninja. It's a sequel to the original Nioh game and has been praised for its challenging but rewarding combat system. Nioh 2 is known for its high difficulty level. Resident Evil 3 Remake is a reimagining of the 1999 survival horror classic, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Resident Evil 3 Remake received generally favorable reviews. Critics praised the game's graphics, gameplay, and the modernization of the original game's elements. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a reimagining of the 1997 classic Final Fantasy VII developed by Square Enix. The game is an action role-playing game where players control Cloud Strife, a mercenary and former member of an elite private military group called Soldier. The gameplay involves battling the evil Shinra Corporation that runs the city of Midgar. Persona 5 Royal Ultimate Edition is a role-playing game developed by Atlus and published by Sega. It's based in the universe of the award-winning series Persona. In the game, you don the mask of Joker and join the Phantom Thieves of Hearts. Your mission is to stage grand heists, infiltrate the minds of the corrupt, and make them change their ways. Paper Beast is a virtual reality adventure game. In the game, you explore a large ecosystem composed of various digital life forms, originating from lost internet codes and algorithms deep inside the internet. You are tasked to navigate the world through manipulating the environment and interacting with the wildlife. Streets of Rage 4 is a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. Up to 4 players locally or 2 players online fight against waves of enemies aided by disposable weapons and item pickups. The game builds upon the classic trilogy's gameplay with new mechanics, beautiful hand-drawn visuals, and a soundtrack by a wide all-star lineup of world-class musicians. Ghost of Tsushima is an action-adventure game developed by Sucker Punch Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The game received positive reviews upon release, with critics praising the game's melee combat, story, characters, performances, and music. Fall Guys is a free, cross-platform, massively multiplayer party royale game. In the game, players clumsily compete in absurd obstacle courses. You can either play with friends or build your very own chaotic course to share with the community. "13 Sentinels Aegis Rim" is divided between side-scrolling adventure segments and real-time strategy (RTS) battles. It follows 13 high school students in a fictionalized 1980s Japan who are dragged into a futuristic war between mechas and hostile kaiju in a non-linear narrative. Spiritfarer is a cozy management game about dying. Developed by Thunder Lotus Games, you play as Stella, the ferry master to the deceased. Your task is to build a boat to explore the world, befriend and care for spirits before finally releasing them into the afterlife. Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time is a platform game developed by Toys for Bob and published by Activision. In the game, you play as Crash or Coco, who both use standard spin and jump attacks. Throughout the game, you'll gain access to 4 quantum masks, each providing a unique ability. Destiny 2 is a free-to-play online first-person shooter video game developed by Bungie. The game is an action MMO with a single evolving world that you and your friends can join anytime, anywhere. Spelunky 2 is a roguelike platformer game that builds upon the unique randomized challenges that made the original Spelunky a classic. Players once again journey deep underground and explore amazing places filled with traps, treasure, and secrets. This time, you play as Anna Spelunky, the child of the main character of the original Spelunky on the moon. Genshin Impact is a free-to-play open-world action RPG developed by MiHoYo. In the game, you embark on a journey across a fantasy world called Teyvat. You can explore 7 nations, meet a diverse cast of characters with unique personalities and abilities, and fight powerful enemies together with them. Bugsnax is an adventure game developed by Young Horses. The game takes you on a whimsical adventure to Snacktooth Island, home of the legendary half-bug, half-snack creatures Bugsnax. You explore the diverse biomes of Snacktooth Island to track down and reunite the inhabitants of Snacksburg. Immortals Phoenix Rising is an action-adventure game where you play as Phoenix, a new winged demigod, on a quest to save the Greek gods and their home from a dark curse. The Pathless is a mythic adventure game developed by Mossmouth and Blitworks and published by Mossmouth. In the game, you play as the Last Hunter, a veiled young woman with archery skills and an eagle as a companion. You are tasked with returning light to a cursed island inhabited by corrupt spirits. Yakuza Like a Dragon is a role-playing video game developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studio. The game received positive reviews from both players and critics who enjoyed the narrative, characters, gameplay, unique take on the JRPG subgenre, and presentation. Diablo 4 is an online-only action role-playing dungeon-crawling game developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. It is the fourth main installment in the Diablo series. The game features both a focus on replayable, procedurally generated dungeons and loot-focused character building, while also introducing mechanics new to the series, including an open world and player versus player combat.